But I gotta say, like, going into this game number 2, we're already seeing what map it is, and I'm excited to be going into Volskaya here. Like, a big map like this, and I'm just saying, like, as like probably the number one self-proclaimed Asmodan main, on a
Hey.
map like this, I absolutely love it, and I wish we had the rework right now so that we could, you know, currently see it in play, because it's definitely a place for it. But I don't know, while we're kind of getting set up here, I mean, have you touched any of the new reworks at all lately? Are you how you liking those?
Rainer's busted. I was gonna put it out there. Rainer, he does too much for what he's got. I mean, or at the very least, I'll say he's capable of doing a lot. He's going from just like this noob, friendly auto attacker who kind of hangs around to a serious playmaker with a generous amount of diversity. Now he approaches the game. Asmodan, I think, is very strong in his own right. Also, though a bit more tricky in how you maximize his effectiveness, or end up bringing more to the table than the old Asmodan. But I think they added enough variety and spice there to make him interesting, and I think he'll see some competitive play too.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that the two. I've played a lot of games with both of them, and not a lot on Rainer, but I've played a lot of Asmodan myself, and you said it very well. I mean, there's subtle optimizations you can make for your teams, and that was one of the things that like, even when Deckard Cain came out, I think that was a great thing with Deckard Cain is the versatility that came with this kit, how he can be manipulated for so many different maps and play styles and compositions. And I feel like with Rainer and Asmodan, it kind of is starting to lean more into that direction where we're getting a lot more versatility with how you can build things. And it's not just like, this is the build, this is how you play it, this is what you do. Because, you know, there are certain heroes like that, but I feel like, you know, with heroes being moved around and reworked, we're definitely seeing a lot more of you know, viability for talents that weren't really that popular in the past, or have just been taken off.
It's going to be the wild frontier, especially once 3 bans get implemented. Ooh. Some of these top tier mainstays are going to be hanging out on the top of the screen, never seeing any kind of play. So we've seen Sergeant Hammer make their resurgence. I think we're going to see a lot of teams digging in the proverbial crates and blowing the dust off of some of these heroes we just haven't seen in a long time. But second game is underway. This is a battleground of PurpleStickyPunch's choosing. So they decide to not have the first pick, which says to me that they're going into this with a pretty specific plan in mind.
I mean, this is Volskaya Foundry. It's a point control map, and you know, I gotta say it because it's one of those things you gotta throw it out there. It's a Cho'Gall map, and I know. I look over at your camera and I already see your reaction. But the thing is, I mean, come on, Cho'Gall on this map is scary and exciting at the same time. So I mean, we'll see. I just gotta throw it out there. You know, just hope for it. But overall, I mean, we see a lot of actually Blaze being taken out. Things like Alex Straza, like Tychus, a lot of brawlers on the map. We see it's still Jaina as well, and then Yrel is probably going to be a top contender here. But Genji and Hanzo still available through this ban phase. Do you think we see any priority on that? Nope. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew Yrel, like, especially with Blaze being taken away. I think that's a very astute ban from PurpleStickyPunch, because Bunker did do a lot in those team fights to keep people alive and just get them past a Blizzard or a Ring of Frost follow-up or something like that. But it looks like we're going to see some musical chairs on the front line as Diablo gets picked up and Euro's first picked by the Skengmen. But now, Bahamut, I had that smile because I hope we do see some Cho'Gall. I love seeing Cho'Gall in this battleground, because if he gets the late game with those silence bombs, it's insane. It's always a good time.
The clumping that you can get on these point controls is just so interesting, and that's what I love about it. It's if it's a come and fight me on this point map, it's definitely something where I'm just like, this is an option. Let's still consider it. Nothing's really pointing at this point, but it's a pretty open table for both the teams. Yrel being picked up by the members of Skengmen, so overall they've got their kind of solo laner at this point. They're going to pick up the Johanna and their healer, and I like this. They've got their solo, they've got their main tank, and they got their healer. They can flex on the rest of their draft in response to whatever they're going to pick on the side of PurpleStickyPunch, and I love this because the ban phase here, it's just map-specific bans, really.
I really like this shift in strategy for the Skengmen. This front line with Deckard Cain throwing the potions out is going to feel nigh unkillable, and it's going to be up to PurpleStickyPunch to find enough of an exclamation point and enough punch in their backline damage to really break through this high health pool in Johanna or Arn.
Okay.
The young Illidan band. I mean, okay.
Maybe it's something that
Nesper's Beast.
maybe Purple Sticky Punch knows something that we don't. They might have done some research, but I do like this ban on the Phoenix. It's just like, you got the Diablo, you've got some slows. Nah, no Purification Salva for you. No, not even the Planet Cracker. We're not even gonna allow that. So taking that off the table, I think that's a little bit of a kind of pause for them on the side of Purple Sticky Punch. They're gonna need to kind of readdress how they'll utilize this Diablo and Maiev, this dive composition. Do they go full dive? Do they lean into things like the Rhaegar, or do they maybe go into something like an Alexstrasza for a little bit more of a control fight, and then maybe they just dive in when necessary?
I think Alexstrasza could do some work here. We haven't seen anything on the side of Skengmen that really suggests that there will be punishment for moving towards a circle, but we do like to see Stukov. I think he's kind of fallen off an overall like priority these days. I think Deckard kind of is eating his lunch on that front, but being able to turn off the keyboard of the enemy at the right moment is always going to be impactful. And with Diablo getting the right shadow charge and overpower, that could be a rough go of it, to say the least. And the Mouthfeel ban adds a lot of context, or the Mouthfeel pickup adds a lot of context to the Blaze ban, because the last thing you want to do is take last rites. Yep. Someone hops in that bunker and you don't have a road.
So at this point, they've got 2 open slots. There's no. I do want to point this out. There's no cleanse on the side. There's a self cleanse for actually Malthael and Maiev. I was like, do you go into a Chromie? Maybe consider. You can have that sand artillery from the back line just dumping, and then you can move in with the Joanna and the Yrel and kind of reposition it and just allow them to the Chromie to continually poke. But Malthael's a cleanse. Greymit.
Ooh.
Oh,
rework.
It's a happy day for Bahamut.
Rework Azmodan saunters into the building. Now we got one more hero to select for Purple Sticky Punch, and I like the Mouthfeel pick. I like the Stukov pick, but I'm looking on the other side of this. Purple Sticky Punch have now taken 4 melee heroes into a Johanna who can blind them at an opportune moment, and a Deckard Cain who can seriously reduce the amount of healing that they receive. So if Deckard Cain throws that heal reduction out and Stukov uses his trait, we're going to see some low health bars, and there isn't going to be much of a recourse. So this 5th pick, it needs to be like a limit.
Okay. All right, so I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I'm doing like all the math is fluttering in front of my face. I'm just like, all right, well, what are they going to? So the only way that I'm looking at this is you've got your Zeratul, you've got Void Prism Apocalypse. Like that has to be the combo right now with the Diablo and the Zeratul. Then you have, after that, you have Maiev going in and getting the Umbral Bind, and then Malthael can get maybe last rites onto someone. Even then, if you group them like that, maybe even Tormented Souls. But if you get a last rites onto like a half health Deckard, I feel like they're gone regardless.
Very true. Very true. I'm just concerned because they've taken 5 melee into a front line. This is going to be the easiest subdue game of Johanna's life if these team fights go the way they potentially could. It's going to be the easiest 3-4 person root game Indie Bears ever had playing Deckard Cain. It's a vote of confidence. I'm really excited to see how it plays out. I think Richie B on Zeratul is going to have to one heck of a game to pose a threat in the back.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's get into this game number 2 between these 2 teams. I'm excited about this to be going into, if I can lock to the observer.
Same.
We're gonna be going into it's being itself. There we go. All right. On the left hand side, we are gonna be having Skengmen up 1 game. We are gonna be having Ami on the Yrel, Indie Bear gonna be on the Deckard. IB Ting's gonna be on the Greymane, Cripesby gonna be on the Joanna, and J-Kong gonna be on the Azmodan.
Over on the right side, in the hunt for game number 3, it's Purple Sticky Punch. Drakengard's playing Diablo. Camp goes on Mouthfeel. Richie B be playing Zeratul. VV's on Stukov. And Maiev will be rounded out by Thank You.
Let's get into this, as we do once again have all 5 members in the mid lane. I want to note also, we have the Azmodan going into the Taste for Blood, so going to be stacking those minions, so looking to see rotations between mid and top from those teams as they will be getting the clear into those minions, and it looks like they're going to be doing a very good job of it starting out here, but a little bit of an Umbral Bind going on to Ami. There will be the silence as well. A lot of damage is going to be coming out. I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of this, as it looks like they are not, and that will be the first kill of the game going over to PurpleStickyPunch.
Proof of concept already starting to prove me wrong. Are the members of PurpleStickyPunch? I was concerned about this composition, but if they're able to find isolation and engagement like that, they could do very well. If we get the root at level 13 for Stukov, what we just witnessed there could be further accentuated by some pretty impressive lockdown. That silence is going to have a huge part to play in how successful they are.
That is an exciting start for these members. I really want to see how they're going to progress into this game. I just don't want to see the same thing from last, where it's just they have this dominating start and then we get into the 10s and there's just a huge dynamic shift, and then that's where it is. Because I do think that they've got a lot of potential with, even though it's all 5 melee, I think they do have a lot of potential to maybe get that maybe that's one separation from the team, peel them away and just get the dive and blow them up, and just hopefully utilize that and play off of that slow win concept. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm just, as it unfolds, I'm just more and more excited to see how it's going to work out.
I'm excited to see how this late game works out, because Azmodan is already up to 72 stacks on Taste for Blood. So once he gets 500, those orbs from downtown are going to definitely be ringing in home. There's the overpower on the Ibtings. A little bit more aggression is then applied to the Worgen. To be able to back away. Maev could have potentially jumped in there and looked for that Umbral Bind, but it wasn't meant to be. Even with that takedown, we see a slight experience lead, more or less about even out. Not too bad. Well, actually, we're seeing PurpleStickyPunch start to surge ahead.
Yeah, at this point, they're kind of making these rotations and it's working out. It's bottom lane, though. I do like this. This is interesting to me. I've been kind of keeping an eye on the health bars, and it doesn't look like either one of these is really winning over the lane too much. They've both got great sustain between the two, so I think Maltheo at this point into Urel is working out, at least at this phase of the game. We'll have to see how that progresses as it gets later in here. But we do have the first Triglav Protector activating in the next 20 seconds in the mid lane. And Azmodan already sitting at 110 stacks. That's quite a bit of damage just already, this early into the game, able to kind of group that onto some of these members that are going to be fighting here. But the Umbral Bind will be going out. Maev a little far forward, going to back off, and they're going to reset before this objective.
I feel like PurpleStickyPunch need to try to establish themselves in a considerable way in the earlier portions of this game, because once that globe stack it closes in on 300, 400, which is on pace to do that by minute 10, minute 11 or something like that. That long range artillery fire is going to be a problem. J-Kong is going to also help out with the experience soak. Thank you goes up. A lot of potions already placed down. Umbral Bind's going to rip Ibtings out of position potentially, but the overpower allows the Worgen to get out of there. Johanna use the Iron Skin to back away. Richie B on the ropes has to back out. Tommy's going to go ahead and swing that old hammer on Maev. Just trading barbs so far, Bahamut. No takedowns.
56% over in favor for the members of Skengmen here, and they're just going to continue to hold this point in contest, not allowing them to get the charge over. We do have the Shadow Charge in from Diablo. We have Maev getting the Umbral Bind down to a couple members. There will be the Johanna pulling a couple in. Members of Skengmen falling a little bit low here, and Ami is maybe the first one to fall, and that will be happening. They chase them off of here, and this will be the point going over in favor for PurpleStickyPunch, and it doesn't look like they will be able to get another kill from that, though.
Indy Bear's like, I can only throw these potions out so fast, man. What do you expect from me? That's going to be the second takedown in favor of PurpleStickyPunch. They're finding themselves on the business end, dealing it out this time with the Diablo Shadow Charge. Nice follow-up afterwards. The Maev Umbral Binds has been a difference maker between an extra auto attack or two, and it's starting to pay dividends, 50% and continuing to rack up now for PurpleStickyPunch. Fortification camp is picked up by Ibting, so we're going to see the second assault from Skengmen start to form.
They're getting ready for this positioning, and just really quickly to catch everyone up while we're waiting for this kind of position, as they're also going to be grabbing, I think, the support camp. Zeratul is going to be scanning this out. We've got 162 stacks on the Taste for Blood. We've got 77 for Soul Stones for Diablo, and 7 on the Bonds of Justice for the Maev. Just to kind of quickly catch everyone up here, as Richie B falling so low, the root will come out. Won't be enough for the kill, but Ivy is going to be dying from that. That's a great pick in favor for the members of PurpleStickyPunch. They also get the Triglav, and they're going to move that right into top lane.
Ibting, spiteful AF, he was just like, look, man, I'm throwing down this turret before y'all kill me. I'm not letting you come away with the takedown and the turret. 3 takedowns in favor of PurpleStickyPunch, as long along with the first Rock'em Sock'em robot, the objective tends to be get this first will in the top lane after you get the protector. But with Asmodan melting down the health bar on this bad boy, they might come away short on that.
Gonna get a little bit of damage on here. They'll open up the gate. Yeah, they'll get what we kind of expected here, and yeah, they'll exit the Triggerlove Protector at this time. Lanes are gonna reset. We do have the Richie B into Urel in bottom lane. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but at least just making sure that experience isn't gonna be gone. They are looking for those 10s, as there is about a half a level difference roughly between these two teams. Once again, they're gonna have these rotations between mid and top, and we also have Maiev and I believe Stukov grabbing the camp on the right hand side.
What we're seeing right now is a composition that is all melee, and they're making it work against the Skengmen. But something that we saw last go around Bahamut is that the early game handedly went over the PurpleStickyPunch, but once the Arkeys came around, we started to see a whole different set of momentum come out of Skengmen. Perhaps we'll see the same thing here, but they don't exactly have, you know, the huge playmakers like the Lightning Breath or the Shadow Charge engagement from Diablo this time. So I'm curious to see how they find that aggression with this composition.
This is really interesting. I like, and I saw this actually last week in the on the mainstream for the Open Division. We actually have the Deckard going into the Emerald at level 7, and so I think they're going to be looking for when Stukov passes the Pustule early in a fight, and as it spreads and they're all clumped, to get that Haragic Cube with the Emerald on is going to allow them to get a lot of reduced healing. But Ami a little far out here, getting repositioned, but no one going to be getting picked off too early. But it was an interesting thing I noticed in just the builds here. I was like, that's a nice kind of way to maybe reduce the healing yourselves, because I know they're going to be trying to take away a lot on the side of PurpleStickyPunch.
Yeah, if that Emerald gets used at the right time, Stukov is just another melee assassin in this composition, because he's offering next to no support to speak of. Looking for the first takedown are the Skengmen. They're going to go ahead and pick up their fortification camp. PurpleStickyPunch help themselves to the very same. Half a level of experience even after the structural advantage earlier on. So right now, I think we're seeing the Skengmen hang on as far as experience, in large part thanks to this Asmodan pickup.
It's absolutely doing a phenomenal. It's doing a great job for them just to get the wave clear really quickly. Also throwing the generals into opposing lanes to buff that, and just having that extra push. That extra push power is really, really useful here. Once again, though, just noting in bottom, we don't really have a big competition between these two lanes. They're holding it over fairly well, but we do have Malthea coming in this mid lane. We have an overpower onto the Joanna, but the Iron Skin's used, and she's able to walk right away.
Level 10 for both teams. Stay a while and listen and defend their curse bullet once more. Blessed shield for the Frisbee. Pretty standard stuff all around. No void prison. I didn't think they really had. They don't really have a comp that sets up, you know, like a Ring of Frost or something like that. So he's just looking to mechanically outplay his opponent. I like the confidence there. But the next control point will be up in the top lane in about 10 seconds. The stun goes in. A little bit of aggression is had on the Richie B. Can he get back to the wall? Cripsy almost takes down Zeratul, but then we got a surprise Diablo on the flank. It's story time on 4 members. Asmodan is going to get the first, or fall first. Richie B jumps back in, has to jump back out. Dragon Guard, full health bar, just hanging out here on Diablo.
And it looks like this time with that pick, they're able just to kind of do whatever they want here. They're looking for a kill. Richie B going to be diving in, going to get right back out of there. As we have the Maiev rotating into top lane, they get the root on 2, but Maiev will be already on that point, making sure that they get this. And if they can get this next Triggerlove, it will continue to just... It's beneficial, obviously. I mean, they can rotate that right and down to bottom lane, prep that for the C point if they want to do that, or straight push into top and try and get a little bit more pressure. The more you open up this map, the harder it is for them to at least just rotate and stay on these points. But Camco a little bit low here. A lot of damage going to be bursted out. No kill just yet, as there is going to be the dunk out from the Asmodan. There is the silence, and that will be the Greyman falling first here. Camco going to be getting really low once again. The Urel trying to do so much. Blessed Shield going to be coming out as well. No one falling just yet, but that is going to be the Joanna actually going down. So 2 for none. As it looks like Thank You is just doing some work poking at these members. But God, Halorin, dang.
PurpleStickyPunch are weathering the storm of every engagement from Skengmen and coming away with a takedown or 2 to show for it. Asmodan called out before. Now we just saw Greymane and Johanna find themselves waiting to respawn. A tier advantage, a level and some change, all in favor of PurpleStickyPunch. Without that heavy engagement from Diablo, without the follow-up from Phoenix, it just seems like Skengmen are struggling against this all melee composition. I can't imagine that they were expecting this style of composition. Maybe this isn't something that they've really practiced against.
That could be it, but I will say, oh my god, this invade is
Uh-oh.
so aggressive, and they're going to be going in further. Asmodan going to get that dunk from the back line. They could turn around here, but the Urel is just hiding in this bush. They do scout it out. Vivi going to be knocked back. They're spreading out a little bit here. There will be the push to go out. Doesn't look like they're going to be trying to take any more of a fight, as that will be just Zeratul in the Punisher, or in the Triglav, pushing up that top lane. They should just rotate in and at least get some decent siege value here.
Looks like all hands on deck of sorts. Asmodan throws an orb and he just sends his regards. 2 heroes now in the Protector. VV hanging in the back. Won't have much peel outside of the Protector. But right now we're seeing a split offensive from PurpleStickyPunch. They got the robot up top. VV's hanging out here as well. Dragon Guard starts to rotate up. The Malthael's hanging out, bot dealing with the goat. The top fort is going to get claimed. Cryptsy and crew start to back away. Right now, Bahamut, we're seeing PurpleStickyPunch well in the driver's seat for this game.
Very much so, and in that Triglav driver's seat, they're going to be taking it into mid lane, and with this, they should be able to easily get 16 just from this gate, and I think that's the easy play here at this point. Just get those 16s, have that advantage, and then you can pressure with that, talent tier and flex across your enemy on the map, and just grab the camps that you want, as well as just the equipment that you need for the next objective that will be popping into bottom. But here's the thing, we see a hard rotation from this team going into bottom, and Urel already sees it and just gets right out of there. And I was like, ooh, do we have Dragon Guard getting that pick? But it won't be happening.
I'm really curious to see how Skengmen play the next minute or two of this game. They have a level and a quarter about before they get to level 16. They're gonna have to play somewhat passively, or they'll have to find someone way out of position. But we see PurpleStickyPunch rotating around as a pretty close-knit unit. They're trying to get the full value out of their composition. HGB rotates up to clear out this minion wave. They do lose their well up top, but the ship has already kind of sailed on that one, as the next point control will be in the bottom lane. I'm really impressed with how PurpleStickyPunch are playing so far.
We do have a Blessed Shield going to be coming out, and a lot of dive onto this Diablo. Still staying alive, but that will not be happening. They actually die there, and oh my god, Greyman getting out with just a couple hundred health. They're trying to chase this and get this kill. Ami is a little bit low here. They get the pings under there. That will be Zeratul getting that clear up onto Urel. They are watching for Asmodan. If they can get that dunk out onto Richie B, that'll be enough, but it won't be happening just yet. It's actually coming out of this time, but Decker Kane going to be getting blowed up. Thank you. So low in health. So many members are so low, and it looks like just about everyone will get out alive here. Once again, the members of PurpleStickyPunch take a really risky fight. Oh my god, right between the two. Woo! They take a fight, though, and they end up getting 2 kills. They come out with low health, but they're still winning these fights, and that's the big thing on this map.
Skengmen needed those takedowns. There was a bit more on the table if that orb hit from Asmodan, if that 20-foot jump shot connected. That would have been another takedown. They only got 1 so far this entire game. Iptinks was definitely saved by Decker Kane. He owes Indie Bear a drink, but Iptinks is going to get jumped on by 3 members of PurpleStickyPunch, and he's hugging on that bottom fort. They just cannot take down the dog.
The Diablo getting stuck on the conveyor belt there, and the slow from the tower is actually doing too much, and actually the dunk coming out, that will be 10 more stacks for the Asmodan, as it looks like they're starting to turn this fight around. They didn't have enough Black Soul Stones either, and that's going to be Decker Kane going down as well, and those are the picks they needed. Some greedy chases actually yielded some great kills for the members of Skengmen here.
Stukov caught between a rock and a hard place, a long way from home. That conveyor belt was the dagger in everything PurpleStickyPunch was trying to do. Dragon Guard's like, all right, we should probably leave, guys. Oh wait, I'm kind of stuck here eating these tower shots. Looks like we have a pause on the way. And there
looks
it
like.
is.
So really quickly though, I gotta say, while we have this pause, we BRB. Well, we have this pause though. I do want to know some of the stacking that we have. At least we got this time we can talk about it. Asmodan, 14 minutes into the game, is sitting at 430 out of the 500 stacks necessary. That is, to me, I'm not the best in the world. I self-proclaim that I am, but I could not do it this quickly, and that's a goal, just to look at one day and you're just like, ooh, I wish I could. But overall, I mean, these teams are doing an awesome job of just stacking and playing this really, really well. And the turnaround that's coming out, I'm really excited to get right back into this already.
Well, for him to already have 430 stacks, that says to me that as a team, Skengmen are committed to this composition. It's very easy to kind of abandon some of these niche strategies. You start to lose heroes, you start to lose objectives. It's like, all right, we can't really rotate around and get these minions anymore. We need to try to get back into this game. But they've managed to continue to stack this up, and it's going to pay off for them. This next control point, which is going to be in 26 seconds, if it becomes a prolonged progression of events, these orbs are going to come in, and you're going to feel them. Like, if you're a Malthael hanging out in the back, if you're a Stukov, you're Maev, and you've already used your backflip and you're trying to escape, it's target practice for J-Cone. Like, I really want to see what happens if these team fights run long and he's just able to hang back and hit 20-foot jump shots.
If you can just sit there and get multiple, it's the damage in the AoE and so many members grouping up on the point, like you pointed out. That's the big thing, and just it's the considerable chunking over time. Like, it is absolutely insane. But it looks like at this point we are going to be getting back into this game in just a second here. I'm excited about this. Next control point will be in 26 seconds. But the one thing that I can note really quickly, I don't think we're going to be actually, we do have a dive in on a couple members. No kill though. I just wanted to really quickly note that the Umbral Bind was finished, as well as the level 4 from the Malthael. The Black Harvest is full as well, just so that Twitch chat knows what the stacks are.
Two things need to happen here for PurpleStickyPunch. They need to get in early and have a huge engagement, and Diablo needs to skip the cardio on these treadmills. He just cannot go for a jog on that. A lot of damage goes in. Cursed Bullet Diablo is going to get dunked on. Maev finds himself getting blown up also. Zeratul already waiting to respawn. That is not how you want to start off this objective phase. This is going to be... This could be pretty easily going over to Skengmen with those takedowns. I just don't see how PurpleStickyPunch come back from there. Over this fight, anyway.
I'm not sure either. I'm looking at the death timers. I don't think that they have the availability to resurrect and report back to that objective on time for them to even contest it. At this point, they're going to go ahead and just at least soak up a little bit more, get closer to 20, close that deficit in level here. And once again, Azmodan is going to continue to stack up and just almost finish out those stacks. And that's the one thing, like, I keep talking about it, but I'm excited to see the damage and the buff that's going to be coming out of that and how that kind of changes the game here, even though they've been Decker Cage is dancing in the bottom.
Look at him go. He still got moves. He's having a pretty good time out here. Level 20 right around the corner for the Skengmen. Now, that was the exact antithesis of what PurpleStickyPunch needed to have happened. They dove in there and lost 2 heroes while they were down a hero already over a turret. A turret! Mm-hmm. And it's cost them the level lead. It's cost them the 3rd protector. And now they're going to be 2 turrets to deal with and this robot. This could very well be a death push.
It's true. Azmodan has such great siege potential, as well as the Triglav Protector here. They're just going to be able to buff this lane and push in, and then you have the Triglav Protector, which can just deal so much damage. This third one does an insane amount, and we're 16 minutes into the game here, as we do have a huge fight breaking out. Azmodan going to get the dunk in there. That will be Joanna a little bit low here. That will also be the Lightning Breath coming out. The slow will be allowing that to happen. Oh my god, Malthael trying to get the last rights onto Crespi at the right second here, but we get the dunk, and that is going to be the kill that they need. They get another one on top of that. Massive shove going to be coming out as well. Camco going to be falling here, and it looks like this could potentially be keep even game.
I'm thinking Skengmen are looking for the ladder. Drakengard is the Shadow Charge to try to escape, but the turret is going to gun him down like a Rambo. Hami's going to go ahead and hit the top rope and close out another takedown. 10-8. After we saw Skengmen go for so long with a goose egg in that column, with half health still on this Punisher, only Stukov remaining, is going to be 2-0. The Skengmen rally back again in the late game, looking strong.
That was an awesome first game that we had I guess the first set from this team. It is some interesting plays here. We got to see an Azmodan, we got to see a Zul Jin, we got to see some really interesting builds from both these teams, to be honest. This is all melee composition that they had on the side of PurpleStickyPunch. I think that without a couple of the misplays that they had, that could have potentially been their game. I really think it came down to a couple little plays here and there, and I think it might have been just getting reset and just being like, all right, we lost out on this chase, we need just to kind of breathe and come back to this. But I think they came in with that same level of aggression, and it just didn't work out, especially on that camp, and it just started to stagger deaths and allowed literally Decker to stand on the point and take the 3rd Triglav, and they just walked down bottom lane with it.
Yeah, the composition that PurpleStickyPunch put together is one that established itself well early. It managed to run the table during the mid game, and it fell apart after some interesting decisions were made. They go for the invasion. They wanted to try to get Greymane. He just escaped the last time, and then they were like, we remember that. They go down towards that bottom fort. They end up overextending. They get caught out. And then they go in for their own turret camp at an inopportune moment with Zeratul still dead. Just as the next point control shows up, they willingly, by their own choosing, go into a 4v5, and it doesn't work out for them. And it just created this snowball effect. But one thing I'm really shocked about, Vivi had 60,000 healing compared to Indie Bear's just 33, but it just did not feel like Stukov was particularly impactful that game.
I gotta say, there were a couple fights in the early point where I even like peeked over at Twitch chat for a second, and I would just see like, how is that player alive? And there were a couple fights where some players were extremely low, but I think it was just one of those things that they had a really good job. They did a really good job of cycling their players in and out from diving. They had the ability for Maltheo to go in and more members around him able to stay alive and heal up from that. So some self-healing, a little bit of that here and there. But I mean, the 60,000, to be honest, it's just like I kind of agree with you at the same time, because there were some pustules going around, but overall, when that later half these team fights came around, it just didn't seem like Stukov could get enough healing out.
Yeah, I thought these numbers would be flipped around, to be honest. The silences, they definitely had some value in the earlier portions of the game. They just weren't able to connect it. This is a composition PurpleStickyPunch put together that doesn't really have a plan B. Like, you engage off the shadow charge, you get the silence afterwards, Maiev pulls someone, and you get him low enough for last rites to do its thing. If you don't do that, your screen's gonna get tinted blue. But we're gonna see PurpleStickyPunch go down 0-2 to an impressive Skengmen, who definitely seem to be the late game team, and they will be advancing on to quite the challenge in the form of Wrong Orc.
And this is one of the teams that we had noted. They took the first cup and they took second place in the second cup, and they're just vying against Freebirds for those points. They're currently tied at this point for first place. So they're Wrong Orc is looking to. I think you said it right before we went live. Like, Wrong Orc's looking to go to the Crucible, and I don't think they're gonna let Skengmen. They're not gonna let PurpleStickyPunch. They're not gonna let anyone stand in their way. And so I'm really interested to see how that's going to be playing out in our next matchup here.
We're going to get things ready for that next matchup. I'm really excited to see Talking Trees in action in his new squad. I'm excited to cast them. I believe we're going to be taking a short break between sets. Could be wrong. I think that's what,
Yeah, we are going to be, production did confirm that we are going to be taking a break between this set. So at this time, we're going to get set up for our next game. It's going to be Skengmen. Oh my God, Skengmen. I'm going to be just doing horrible with it all night versus Wrong Orc. We're going to be setting that up in just a second. We'll be right back with the Open Division here on the HeroesHype channel.